Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And to use that logic, well, then all those people should have just said sorry and we'd move on, right? But no, we don't do that. And let me tell you, I take a little bit of offense to what the hell is wrong with me.
When a member of Congress asks, what the hell is wrong with another lawmaker, that's not just an insult. It's a window into how broken Washington has become. This exchange wasn't about tone or feelings or personalities. It was about something much more fundamental. Whether defending the Constitution and enforcing the law is now considered offensive in the United States Congress. What you're about to hear says a lot about where one side thinks accountability ends and where the other side refuses to back down.
Right? But no, we don't do that. And let me tell you, I take a little bit of offense to what the hell is wrong with me. I'll tell you, there's nothing wrong with me. I took an oath to defend the Constitution, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Again, I'm not going to apologize for it. I'm going to hold the Constitution, and it's very simple. We really shouldn't even have this debate. If you break the law and you follow due process, there are consequences to your actions, even if you say sorry. So we can try all of the diversion tactics that we would like. It doesn't change the fact that someone broke the law and that someone should be held accountable. It is disappointing, Mr. Speaker, that their own party can't hold them accountable, that they have such hypocrisy. So with that, I yield 2 minutes to my friend from New York, Nicole Malliotakis.
Gentlelady is recognized for 2 minutes.
Thank you.
What happened on the House floor didn't come out of nowhere. It was the result of a larger pattern we've seen over and over again in Washington, where accountability is demanded loudly for political opponents, but quietly dismissed when it applies to allies. Representative Lisa McClain of Michigan found herself on the receiving end of a direct verbal attack, framed not as a policy disagreement, but as a personal condemnation. The question wasn't about facts. It wasn't about legal standards. It was simply, what the hell is wrong with you? McClain's response cut straight through that framing. She didn't deflect. She didn't apologize. And she didn't soften her position to make it more palatable for cable news panels. She stated plainly that there is nothing wrong with her for doing exactly what she swore an oath to do: defend the Constitution of the United States. That oath matters. It's not symbolic. It's not ceremonial. It's a binding commitment that every member of Congress takes before assuming office. And crucially, it doesn't say, defend the Constitution when it's popular, or when it helps your party. It says defend it. Period. McClain reminded the chamber of something that has become strangely controversial in modern politics. Breaking the law still has consequences. Saying sorry doesn't erase violations. It doesn't override due process. And it doesn't magically make accountability disappear. That point is uncomfortable for a lot of people in Washington, because it challenges the idea that intent or identity should outweigh action. McClain rejected that outright. She made it clear that the legal system doesn't, and shouldn't, operate on feelings or political loyalty. What made her remarks especially pointed was her criticism of what she described as hypocrisy. She argued that the real failure wasn't disagreement between parties, but the unwillingness of one party to hold its own members accountable under the same standards it demands of others. That accusation goes to the heart of public frustration with Congress. Americans see investigations launched selectively. They see outrage activated on command. And they see silence when accountability would be politically inconvenient. McClain's message was that equal application of the law isn't optional. Without it, the entire concept of justice collapses into partisan theater. And this is where the exchange becomes bigger than one comment or one confrontation. The underlying question raised by McClain's response is whether constitutional duty has become secondary to political allegiance. When lawmakers are mocked or attacked for insisting that laws be followed, that tells you something is deeply wrong with the culture of governance. The Constitution isn't a suggestion. It's the foundation of the entire system. Treating it as an obstacle rather than a guide erodes trust in every institution built on it. McClain also pushed back against what she described as diversion tactics, the attempt to reframe clear legal issues into emotional or rhetorical disputes. This strategy shifts focus away from actions and consequences, replacing them with outrage and personal attacks. That tactic works only if people forget what the debate is actually about. McClain refused to let that happen. She brought the conversation back to fundamentals: law, due process, and responsibility. Her refusal to apologize is important. In Washington, apologies are often used as substitutes for accountability, a way to close the story without addressing the substance. McClain rejected that model entirely. She wasn't arguing for harshness. She was arguing for consistency. If laws exist, they must apply. If standards are enforced, they must be enforced evenly. That position shouldn't be radical. But in today's political climate, it often is. As the exchange concluded, McClain yielded time to Representative Nicole Maliotakis, signaling that this wasn't about personal grandstanding. It was about reinforcing a principle shared by others who believe the rule of law doesn't bend for political convenience. Moments like this don't usually dominate headlines for long. They don't fit neatly into viral clips or partisan talking points. But they matter, because they reveal the fault lines shaping modern governance. The real takeaway isn't the insult that sparked the exchange. It's the response that followed, and the uncomfortable question it leaves hanging. When defending the Constitution is treated as something suspicious or offensive, what exactly is Congress defending instead? If you believe the rule of law still matters, these moments deserve attention. Not because they're dramatic, but because they expose what's at stake.